What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, we're here for another Dynasty trade review show. As always, 10 trades loaded up to talk about today, submitted directly into our Discord. Our Discord is free to join, so if you have not joined that Discord and you want your trades reviewed on a future episode, make sure you go join that. Like I said, in the description, free to join, no risk in doing so. But it would not be a Dynasty trade show without my co-host. So let's get him into the building and let's start talking some Dynasty trades. War, how we doing today?
Lucky number 7. I'm here.
Lucky number 7?
Lucky number 7. I'm ready to go. New fantasy team name. We getting it popping. You know, y'all know me. Well, Andrew knows me. I got to have a new fantasy team name every damn week. That's how I roll. That's how I roll, baby.
Sometimes I don't even know who you are in my league sometimes because it's not just the fantasy team name. It's the damn sleeper name too. It'll be Code Death one week and then it's the whatever of War, the other blah, blah. Like they'll change the name every damn week on me.
Got to, man. Got to.
Whatever, man. Look, we got 10 trades. Let's hop right into it. The first trade that I have here is a 12-team Superflex, full PPR, and tight end premium. They said this was after the startup, so they haven't even played their first year. This is just post-startup. He trades away Amon-Ra St. Brown and a 2026 third-round pick. What he gets is McConkey and a 27 first. So is McConkey and a first-round pick in that highly coveted 2027, draft class, is that worth Amon-Ra to you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why. I don't know if it has to do with just hearing you hype up McConkey or me having McConkey on my team and him surprising me with his performance. But, oh my God, I can't believe I'm finna say this. This almost feels like too much for Amon-Ra St. Brown. This almost feels like too much for her. Like, first, as a standalone player, I could at least convince somebody that McConkey has a chance to put up comparable numbers to Amon-Ra St. Brown. I feel like I can make that argument. I feel like I can make it. But then when you add on that 27 first, that I may be getting to the point of overhyping the 27 first, but whatever. It just seems like, honestly, I feel like at the very least, that 26 third on the Amon-Ra St. Brown side should at least be like a second, or something like that, because I don't know. I feel like that McConkey at 27 first side got a lot of juice to it.
It definitely does have a lot of juice, and I like McConkey a ton. Obviously, you know this. I've been talking about him since he was at Georgia. At the end of the day, though, like, you are betting on what we saw in the back half of the year from McConkey to be the norm, because at the end of the year last year, he was really good, dominant for fantasy football. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe you're projecting a tiny bit of regression with Ben Johnson gone. You sent me a message the other day, saying that maybe the offense is having a little bit of a rocky transition. We have yet to see that, I guess, in real game action. It is in the range of outcomes. So I don't dislike this trade at all. I think obviously in a bubble, when you're looking at the two players, I'm going to take Amon-Ra over McConkey, but you're right. The difference between a 26 third and a 2027 first round pick is pretty significant. So yeah, just give me Lad in the first. And I'm sorry that I'm picking against Amon-Ra. I love Amon-Ra. We've been talking about him all offseason as a potential value in the trade market, but yeah, give me Lad in the first.
Yeah, I still don't want you guys to fade Amon-Ra St. Brown. I still think y'all foolish for fading him. It's just that if you're trading away Amon-Ra St. Brown, this is what you want to get in return. Like you could get, like I said, you could have gave up a little tiny bit more with Amon-Ra St. Brown and it would have been okay. But this is a pretty good haul for trading away Amon-Ra.
Yeah, we don't want those Garrett Wilson in a second for Amon-Ra trades. We want the Lad McConkey in the first.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. The next trade that I got here on the screen is 12-team Superflex, half PPR, no tight end premium. You're tiering up from Brock Purdy and Garrett Wilson into Jalen Hurts. How do you feel about tiering up from Purdy and Wilson in a 12-team Superflex?
I feel like if you have the depth at wide receiver enough to trade away Garrett Wilson with Purdy, I like it. Go for it, man. Get the dominant quarterback that you know is going to put up good numbers. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't do that, but I really do hope that you do have the depth at wide receiver, because I really don't like the idea of tearing up and trading away a player that is probably going to be better than what people think, because he's being faded a little bit too much. But if you have that depth, then go for it, man. I like the trade on the Hurts side.
Yeah, I like the tier up as well. I think Jalen Hurts, when we talk about like the elite of the elite quarterbacks, I was doing a mock draft with some people in the Discord the other day, and they asked me, they said, hey, why did you, it was a redraft mock draft, but they said, why did you not take quarterback at the back end of that round? And I told him, I said, look, for me, it's like there's an elite grouping of quarterbacks that I think are difference makers, and then there's a big tier of guys that are good. And Jalen Hurts, to me, is in the elite difference maker tier. Brock Purdy is in the guys that are good tier. So you are getting a pretty significant upgrade at the quarterback position, in my opinion. And Garrett Wilson, going to a, you're losing the wide receiver, but this is a half PPR league as well, which is something that I'm considering, because a lot of what his value is the volume, the amount of receptions that he receives. So you're losing a little bit of a half point on those compared to your full PPR leagues. I like Jalen Hurts in this side of the deal. I don't think it's a bad offer. Obviously, if you're, needing wide receiver help, down tiering to Purdy and Wilson, you might like that in certain situations. But like you said, if you have the wide receiver depth, Jalen Hurts is a different type of game breaker for you than what Brock Purdy can offer your team.
Yeah. And it's a huge gap, like you said, between the Hurts tier and the Purdy tier. Half PPR does have an effect on Wilson's value, and you got to use that to tier up. So I'm with that Hurts side all the way.
Me too. All right, let's go on to the next one. Next trade, 12 team, 1 quarterback, full PPR, no tight end premium, and start 8. You trade away Malik Nabers and Colston Loveland for Jamar Chase. He asked if this was enough for Chase. What do you think?
Wait, he's asking if what he gave, if what he's getting in return. Is he the one who trading away Chase? The one that asked the question.
I'm pretty sure this is a bystander in the league who saw Jamar Chase get traded away and said, "Is this enough value to get rid of Chase?"
No,
you want more than Nabers and Loveland.
Yeah, and I love Nabers, and I love Loveland. I love, not Jordan, but Jordan's okay, guys. Calm down. I feel like, as much as I like the future of Loveland and I love the presence of Nabers, Jamar Chase, man, he's on a different level, man. Like you were talking about in the last trade, that elite tier of quarterbacks. He's in that elite tier of wide receivers. But I tell you one thing, Malik Nabers, he's standing on the doormat looking into the ring camera. I'll tell you that much. So
he's knocking on the door.
Yeah. Eventually, you're gonna have to say, who is it? He's gonna say Malik Nabers, and you're gonna open the door for him because he's gonna be in that elite tier. So not right now. And I think the problem is not Nabers. I think the problem is we need to kind of see Loveland ball out a little bit for us to, but then again, at the same time, once you see Loveland ball out, are you looking at this trade like, am I getting enough going the other way? If Colston Loveland goes out there and is doing to people what he's doing to his teammates in training camp. So yeah, man. I'm still gonna take the Chase side. Chase is a force of nature. This video is gonna drop next week, but we just seen a preseason game with Chase and Burrow. He's a force. Yeah, he's a force of nature. Like Chase is one guy. If your dynasty team is bad, if you have one good thing, the rest of your team could be trash, and you can have Chase, and you still feel pretty good about your team. So
yeah, I mean, you could have a bad roster with Chase on it, and you might win a couple weeks by just Chase alone. So
yes.
I mean, I'm looking at this one for me, and the question of, is this enough for Jamar Chase? I think maybe in a different league with a different scoring setting and different roster settings, sure. This is 1 quarterback, no tight end premium, start 8. That is the thing that I'm looking at here. You don't get the tight end premium, so Loveland loses a little bit of the value that we have liked from him, because obviously a lot of what we talk about is tight end premium leagues. Start 8. Very, very shallow rosters. So you need superstars. And that's not to say that Malik Nabers isn't a superstar, but we just talked about Jamar Chase. He's the 101. He's the wide receiver 1 in fantasy. He's the 101 in single season formats. He's a game breaker, a game wrecker. if you say. I just think at the end of the day, this format specifically, no, it's not enough. I would like it to be a different piece than Loveland. And Nabers can eventually get there, but this is, to me, just give me the Jamar Chase side, despite the hype that the other side might have in the young guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on the same page there. Jamar Chase is just, he's him.
HIM, all
not,
caps.
yeah, yes.
All right, let's go to this next one. 12 team, super flex, full PPR, a half point extra for the tight end premium, and start 10. The context was he lacks some bench depth, so he tiers down Amon-Ra St. Brown with Xavier Legette, who just got thrown out of last night's game for throwing some punches, but he got Amon-Ra, or he tiered down from Amon-Ra. He got Drake London and Josh Downs. So obviously the tier down is going from St. Brown to London. Is the tier up from Legette to Josh Downs enough to close the gap?
This trade is pretty damn close. Because I don't think, let me choose my words correctly. I don't think Drake London is a whole bunch of tiers down from Amon-Ra St. Brown. And this, I hate that I feel like I'm crapping on Amon-Ra. Like I'm still super high on Amon-Ra. It's just that this is the first trade show that we've gotten in a while where the value for Amon-Ra seems appropriate.
Well, it feels like for the first time, and maybe it's because redraft brain is starting to come back around and people are like, oh shit, Amon-Ra is actually good at football. We should probably be drafting him very highly in our redraft leagues. And now the Dynasty community is like, oh yeah, I want Amon-Ra on my team because he's going to score me a lot of points. I think that like redraft brain, that contender brain is coming back into play here, so his value is going up a little bit.
Yeah. I do know that I'd highly prefer Josh Downs over Xavier Legette. I forgot Xavier Legette was in the National Football League, so so that's definitely a win on that side. And then you're tearing down from Amon-Ra. So I think this trade is fair, to be honest. I don't have a high preference going either way. I think this is an okay trade.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's a good deal either way as well. I like London a lot, and I like Downs more than Legette. I just feel like personally, if I'm looking at this and, you're lacking bench depth, I guess it depends on how bad that depth is overall, but start 10, you may not, especially in a super flex, like now we're talking about 8 starters outside of the 2 QB spots that you could play. How much of an upgrade is Josh Downs going to be compared to maybe somebody that you already have there? I don't know. That's my only question is like, how much of an upgrade are you going to be getting in your flex spot each week? Was it worth the tier down? Because I do prefer Amon-Ra. I think I would have liked this a little bit better. It sounds obvious, but I think it should still get done. If you just took Legette out of the deal entirely and it was just Amon-Ra for London and Downs, and then you had another piece that you could have played in your flex every week, I think I'm still going to lean London and Downs, but not by a lot, and I could honestly be influenced to go either way on this one, which tells you that it's probably a pretty fair deal.
Yeah, I agree. And I also agree with the idea of taking Legette out. I think that still would have felt like a fair trade if they had done that.
Yeah, and if the goal here is to acquire bench depth, I would have liked a 2-for-1 because then I'm getting one extra piece without losing a player that I can potentially play on a bye week or an injury.
I don't know if Legette is that playable, but yeah.
I don't know. He flashed at points last year. If Dave Canales and the Panthers, take another step forward this year, I don't know. I mean, Ted McMillan looked really good last night.
Yeah, it's Ted show now. Like that's why I'm just like, yeah, Legette, thank you for your service. Your services are no longer needed. Ted is here. Yeah,
he looked good. Jalen Coker was flashing a little bit last night too. And Thielen was obviously out there on the field too. I think maybe Coker played a little bit more than we wanted because Legette got thrown out in the first quarter. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I've heard rumblings of maybe them moving or trading Adam Thielen, but I don't know. It feels like Thielen's kind of the one veteran that they have there that can kind of be the mentor in the room.
How'd you feel if Thielen was traded back to Minnesota?
I've heard that narrative a lot is because the Addison suspension, people were saying like, what if Thielen just comes and plays a couple games for the Vikings and whatever? It'd be cool, I guess. But I think at the end of the day, like he's ultimately there to play behind Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, all those guys. So yeah.
Would you like Adam Thielen? Would you like Adam Thielen more than whoever the current third wide receiver is on the Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
So I think it would be fine, but I wouldn't want us to like trade anything of real significant value for Thielen, like 6th-round pick, 7th-round pick. That's cool. Anything else? Nah, I'm good.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, you ain't getting more than that.
Because like if it's anything more than that, then just call up Amari Cooper and have Amari Cooper come play, for a couple weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
But all right, let's move on to the next one. I think we both went the London side there. 10 team, 2 quarterback, full PPR, tight end premium, and start 13. So really deep starting lineups. This team is rebuilding. AD Rain is the rebuilder. He sends away Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, and he gets back Patrick Mahomes, Garrett Wilson, and a 2027 first-round pick. In a 10-team start 13, 2 quarterbacks as well. I mean, what are you thinking here?
Start 13.
That's crazy amount of starters.
The hell, start 13. I don't even know how my brain can't even grasp the context of starting 13 players. So I'm just look at these players.
It's probably 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, probably 3 wide receivers. That's 7. A tight end is 8, and then maybe 4 flex. I mean, it would be like 5 flexes or something like that. Dude, it's an insane amount.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, quite simple. Good job, 80 Rain. I'm taking that Patrick Mahomes side all day. Patrick and a 27 first for Lamar Jackson. I'm smashing that trade button. Wilson for Henry. I'm smashing that trade button.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I would look at it a little bit different. I mean, the fact that, like we just said, it's start 13, 2 quarterback, that really changes things. And you're a rebuilding roster, so it makes sense. Rebuilding, no reason in hell you should be rostering Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson is at probably close to about as high of his value as probably going to be for the next foreseeable future. He's most people's QB2. And I think rightfully so at the moment, just based off of what he does for your fantasy rosters. But we have all said it before, and I hate to sound like a broken record a little bit. Lamar Jackson is so good, there is risk of longevity with his playing style. That's just kind of the way that it is. Not to say that he's any worse because of his playing style. In fact, he's better for us in fantasy because of his playing style. There's just a little bit more risk longevity-wise. If I was looking at it like this, I would probably break it down. Mahomes and Wilson is Lamar Jackson, and then even then it's 27 first for Henry. That's more than fair. I'm going to go with the Mahomes, Wilson, and first side. It just makes sense based on the team structure. But Lamar Jackson is going to command a bag if you are selling him. This is the bag that you should be looking to get. I think this makes a ton of sense. So I like this trade for 80 Rain.
Yeah, there's not many worlds where you're going to get Patrick Mahomes and a first round pick like coming back to you, especially like me and your theory that we're going to see a return to greatness Patrick Mahomes this season. So
yeah, I mean, it's maybe getting a little bit delayed because of the suspension looming for Rice, but once he's on the field, it should be fine. My question for you is, if you're rebuilding here, are you entertaining maybe another tier down at quarterback? Like, are you floating Mahomes out there and saying, hey, somebody want Mahomes? Give me, I don't know, where could you go down? Drake May? That's what I thought too, but it feels like they're pretty close. But if somebody's willing to pay you extra on top to go to Drake May, I'd absolutely do it. Like, would you go, here's Mahomes, if somebody's willing to give me McCarthy in a first, would you go McCarthy in the first for Mahomes? Yeah, I think I would too. Purdy in a first or no?
No, because I would feel if I did that trade, I would still have a feeling in the pit of my stomach that I could have got more.
Purdy first and a second?
I'll be a little more intrigued.
Okay, and then my only other one would be like, would you go down, like, say it's like a wide receiver kind of like Garrett Wilson, maybe a little bit less than that. Let's call the wide receiver like Jordan Addison and Trevor Lawrence for Mahomes. Would you do it?
No.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think I would explore the tier down with Mahomes, just to see if you can do another tier down and see what is available out there. But overall, I like this move right here. I think this is exactly what you want to do in a rebuild. Tear down some of those better assets and get some depth and get some young upside. And you did that with Garrett Wilson in the first.
Smart man.
Whether it's playing drafts or sweating pick'ems, there's no offseason on Underdog, which means there's still plenty of ways to cash in big this summer. No matter the sport you're watching, Underdog has you covered, and all you have to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite athletes from whatever sport, put them into a pick'em entry, watch the winning multiplier increase, click play, and win real cash. So what are you waiting for? Download Underdog and start playing today. Plus, when you use promo code LeagueFFB, Underdog will give you a new customer special, which is a free square for your first pick'em entry, and they will give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash, giving you the perfect head start to winning big on Underdog. So if you want to support our show and get in on some daily fantasy sports action, Click the link in our description to sign up for Underdog using code LEAGUEFFB. So thank you to our sponsors over at Underdog. And with that out of the way, let's get back into the action. All right, let's move on. The next one we got is a 10-team Superflex half PPR tight end premium and start 10. The context is the contending or big baller blue hen is contending, and the first that he gave away, one of them was his own, so he projects that to be late as a contender. The other one was a mid pick. So it's a mid first round pick in 2026, a late first round pick in 2026, and Kyler Murray. Now what he got was Joe Burrow, Braylon Allen, and a 26th third. How do you feel about that? Really, Kyler and a 2 mid to late first for Burrow.
So what I was doing while you were explaining details of the trade, because this trade was looking kind of familiar, and it's not all the way familiar, but this is very similar to a trade I made 2 years ago in one of our leagues where I traded away Kyler Murray in the first for Joe Burrow. Now, keep in mind, this, of course, was coming off of Joe Burrow's injury. He was injured while I made the trade, so it was like a future trade. My team was rebuilding, and of course now my team is like moving towards contention in that league. But but as long as you're there, you're gonna be a roadblock for me. That's all.
What is it, Tea Party?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, your team's up. It's like it's coming up in that league. I was looking at it the other day. I was like, okay, worst team's actually getting pretty good here.
Yeah. So, but this is real. So I understand the logic. I would now. You know how I feel about Joe Burrow, and I know you're probably going to disagree with me because I know how you feel about Kyler.
Don't get it twisted. There's a significant gap between Burrow and Kyler.
Andrew, 2 off seasons ago. What you said 2 off seasons ago about Burrow? You kind of was it last off season? You kind of ruined my redraft season, Andrew, with your rhetoric.
Well, you listen to me.
I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't need the Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase stack. I'll just take Kyler Murray instead. Yeah, that was dumb.
Okay, now hold on. I'm jumping into here though. I think for what it was worth, I said last year, still wrong regardless, by the way, but I said last year I didn't see a huge gap between Burrow and Murray. Then you took Murray over Burrow. You just said, fuck it, I'm going to take Kyler over Joe. I didn't say that I would be doing it over. I said it would be, I didn't see a gap between the two.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, okay, I'm going to tell you the logic behind it. Then I'm going to tell you about this trade. I'm taking the Joe Burrow side, by the way. But I'm going to tell you the logic. I took Kyler over Joe Burrow because I thought that I could get, because at this point in time, I'm just like at a fever pitch for Marv. Like, I'm just like,
yep, that was part
generational. Of it. He's generational. Kyler, he's going to turn Kyler generational. And I thought that I was going to be able to get Marv coming back around. But as usual, because of the hater he is, Brandon took Marv before I got to take him. So that kind of just ruined everything. But if I could go back in time, I would have just took my stack of Jamar, because Jamar was my first round pick. I would have just took my stack of Jamar and Chase and just would have just ran with it. But as for this trade, hell yeah, I'm doing 2 firsts and Kyler, especially 26 firsts for Joe Burrow, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing here is that he says first of all, they're 2026, and then he says they're mid to late, both of them. So the fact that we're talking about like mid to late ones and Kyler for Burrow, it makes sense. It's not a bad haul if you're down tiering from Burrow to Kyler and getting 2 firsts and maybe you're rebuilding. I think that's the best case scenario. Is you say Simon here is a rebuilder and he says, I'm just going to down tier and grab 2 firsts and put those in my pocket. Like, I don't hate that at all. But I also think if we're projecting what we want is what side of the deal we want. Joe Burrow and Braylon Allen in the third is what I'll take. I don't even care so much about Braylon Allen in the third, but it's just extra stuff that you got thrown in. Something happens to Breece Hall, traded, injured, whatever. Braylon has some upside. You can flip him. The third, it is whatever. You know, you get a guy and you can throw him on your taxi, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I'll take the Burrow side here. It's not a bad offer, though. 2 firsts and Kyler is pretty solid. I'm going to go back to, we've had some bad instances with Burrow in our leagues. I'm surprised that we both still like Joe Burrow after all the shit that we've done had with Joe Burrow on our rosters. Because I remember the year before that, last year you drafted, or you passed on Burrow for Kyler. The year before that, I drafted Burrow, and then he had the whole wrist injury shit. And you and I made a draft day trade, I think, where I gave you Joe Burrow on draft day. You gave me Justin Herbert, which wasn't really much better, but then Joe Burrow missed a ton of time with that wrist injury.
Yeah. And what pissed me off the most about that wrist injury season is like, when it happened, I was just like, it'll be all right. He'll be back next week. It was like, no, he's out for the season. And then it's like,
I think the only other time that I've had Burrow on a team was the rookie ACL year. So it's like every time that I have Joe Burrow, maybe I'm cursed when it comes to Joe Burrow, because every time that I have him on my teams, he's dealing with an injury.
Yeah, man. But Joey Ice gonna be good. He gonna be good this season. He gonna stay out of trouble.
I hope so. Let's stay off the injury report. That's all I want, Joe. Because when he's healthy, he's incredible, and that defense looked so bad. I mean, it was as bad as advertised in that preseason game. It was. They had was it Tanner McKee? They had Tanner McKee looking like the prodigal son. That's who they played, right? It was the Eagles.
Is Tanner McKee still on the Eagles?
He went nuts. So. I'm thinking about it right. I am. So looking at, you ready for this? Eagles win 34-27. Tanner McKee goes for 20 for 25, 252 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Howie Roseman's finna fucking trade him for a second round pick or some shit. You know how
I think that was just the Bengals defense is so bad. And not only is it, bad for their starters, that was their second team. So, more likely that was like a college football defense than it was anything else. So, not great.
Yeah.
But let's move on. We're both taking Joe Burrow here. Let's just move on. Not bad value. 10-team, super flex, full PPR, no tight end premium, and best ball scoring. So, team one is rebuilding. They traded away Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid, and the 207 in 2025. What they got back was Caleb Williams, Sam Laporta, a 26 first-round pick, and the 2025 201. So war. No tight end premium. We got 2 tight ends in this deal. It's best ball scoring. It's 10-team. What are we thinking here?
Look, you know what? You know that when it comes to best ball scoring, I'm the least knowledgeable man on the planet. So I'm just going to take the raw data of seeing that Josh Allen is right there. And I'm just going to take Josh Allen because Josh Allen's going to score the most points out of everything I see on this screen right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not bad process to just do that. The reality of it is you're upgrading to Sam Laporta from Dalton Kincaid. Now, I would argue that in a rebuild, I don't give a shit about upgrading at the tight end position. I don't care about the tight end position in a rebuild. So I would have rather just kept Kincaid because his value is so low and said, fuck it, give me extra value somewhere else. So that's the first issue that I have with it. The second issue that I have with it is you move up 6 spots in the second round of 2025. Like, who cares for the most part there? Really what this is like, you have to have significant confidence in Caleb Williams, and you have to hope that 2026 is early. It has to be early for this to even be considered even in the range of outcomes close. And I don't think it is, in my personal opinion. I don't like this deal. I understand that you are rebuilding, but I would have just rather... I think there's so many different ways we could have done this. One, I don't know if Josh Allen is a player that you even need to move in a rebuild, but if you want to, I would have just focused on Allen. Take out Laporta, take out Kincaid, take out the second round picks, because I just don't give a shit. It should be surrounded around Josh Allen and Caleb Williams, and at that range, in a best ball, like, you could probably get Caleb and 2 firsts for Josh Allen, and that's much better than your little upgrade at the tight end position and your second round move up and all that other stuff. It's tough for me to, first of all, I don't want to sound too critical, but it's the first hurdle for me is it's really tough for me to find trades for Josh Allen that I like. When you're trading away Josh Allen, I mean, we've talked about this before. I think we talked about this on last week's trade episode, War. He is the asset in Dynasty for us. There is no other asset. He's number 1. And it just feels like there was too much extra going on, and I think maybe you got lost in the sauce with the extra stuff. Because this really should have been, the conversation should have been, hey, I'm giving you Josh fucking Allen. You got to pay for Josh Allen. That's what we have to do here. And I don't know if this guy really paid up for Josh Allen. I think he got Josh Allen for a really solid price. So I don't love it. I'm going with the Josh Allen side. I just think the tight end upgrade in the rebuild was unnecessary, and I don't love the move up or any value being held within the second round. Like, who cares? It needed to be simplified a little bit more. Take the tight ends in the seconds out and start the deal with Josh Allen for Caleb in a first, and then we got to add the extra to get this even. That's where I would have been.
Yeah, the only time where honestly upgrading at the tight end position makes sense in a rebuild is if you're getting Brock Bowers or Trey McBride. I understand Sam Laporta is young, but I don't see him on that level as those other two guys.
Also, just looking at the scoring and the roster, it's not a tight end premium. So the tight end is not as valuable, and it's best ball scoring. So I'm telling you what I'm going to do with the tight end position in my rebuild. I'm going to roster 4 or 5 low end, whatever type of tight ends. And every week, the guy who scores the fucking touchdown is going to hit my lineup. That's just the way that it's going to happen. So give me Elijah Arroyo, give me Terrence Ferguson, give me Mason Taylor and all these other guys. I don't need Sam Laporta. I don't need the high-end tight end. I'm just going to have a bunch of these guys, even Pat Fryermuth and these Cole Kmet. Give me Cole fucking Kmet. And if he gets into the end zone, bang, I get the points because he scored the touchdown. And the reality, too, is you're rebuilding, so you don't really want the points anyways. You want to get your pick a little bit higher. I'm just treating the tight end position in a best ball 10-team, no tight end premium as if it's so unimportant. I'm going to shotgun approach that position and give you 4 or 5 guys that could get into the end zone. And then I'm calling it a day. I mean, the reality is I would treat it like pick the best offenses. And this is not for him specifically because he's rebuilding. But if you're in a league like this, like my theory would be pick some really good offenses that we think are going to pass the football a lot and take cheap shots at the tight end position. Mike Gesicki, for the Cincinnati Bengals, he could find his way into the end zone a few times. He could find his way having some good receiving games. Take him. Kincaid, he's a little bit more expensive, but like you could take him. You could take, let's think about it. Like obviously we said for the Rams, Terrence Ferguson could be a really good passing offense. Cade Otton for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, good offense, could find his way into the end zone a couple times. Like take those cheap shots and just let the guy hit your lineup that scores the touchdown or catches a couple passes that week. So I think the big issue is that it does feel like the largest value difference that you're getting is in a 26 first round pick that we have no idea where it is. And it's also a draft class that is very top heavy. And then the other value that you're gaining is in the tight end position, which is so unimportant to me in this team context.
Yeah, then besides the tight ends, let's just have some truth time, guys, and sit here and have some truth time. Might not happen for Caleb this season. It might not. Yeah, that's right. MFGDs could be critical about Bears. I don't think it has anything to do with Caleb's talent. I'm not buying into the whole thing like, oh yeah, Caleb, I'm worried about Caleb this offseason. But if you want the Caleb Williams, and maybe this trade is a part of future expectation. I'm just saying, me personally, how I'm looking at Caleb this season, I want a little bit more touchdowns. I want a little bit more interceptions because that means he's taking a little more risk. I want less sacks, and I want him to try to get 4,000 yards. Now, that's still not Josh Allen level like production because I'm talking about something like 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,000 yards. That's not that level, but Caleb Williams is not close to Josh Allen yet. And I don't know if he'll ever get there. I think he'll be really good. Great, could be great, but he's not there yet. And if you're trading away Josh Allen, you better damn sure be positive that you're getting a great player in return because Josh Allen is a great player. He's the top asset in fantasy football. So,
I mean, quite honestly, Josh Allen is the single greatest fantasy football asset of the decade for us right now. Like, if you look at the last 10 years, I can't tell you a single asset that's been more dominant than Josh Allen. I mean, we're talking about a guy who, outside of his rookie season, has basically been QB1, QB1, QB2, QB1. Like, dude just finishes so high every single year. Plays through injuries, doesn't really ever get injured for the most part. Obviously, that stuff can happen, but it's like he's been the best asset. And I think my other big thing with this, and this is going to be kind of my last point because I've kind of already beat this one up a little bit, but when I'm looking at this whole trade and I'm just thinking about your league context too, like, could you say, yeah, I just wanted to pocket Caleb Williams and now I'm going to try and move Sam Laporta? Sure, that's fine, but there is never going to be a more desirable asset in your league trade market than Josh Allen. If you were trying to get the most value for anybody, Josh Allen is the guy that you can get the most value value for. That it's just this trade had to be the winner of the trades because you were giving up number 101. That's just what you were giving up. So this had to be the smash deal to start your rebuild process or get through your rebuild process because you were getting rid of Josh Allen. This one had to be the one.
I wonder, and this is kind of to a side, I wonder, because you said that Josh Allen is the most valuable fantasy asset in the last decade, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who was more valuable between this Superflex era Josh Allen versus pre-Superflex era LaDainian Tomlinson, because that's the last player I could think of that was like that dominant on that level.
But even then, not in the same decade, right? So it would be a different decade. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Be interesting to go back and look, but it's just tough for me to look at anything that Josh Allen has done. Honestly, you really can't be critical of anything at this point of what Josh Allen has given us for fantasy. So, I think we play with a guy who said, if you have Josh Allen on your fantasy team, he said you're just an automatic bid to the playoffs every year. Josh Allen just gives you the automatic bid to the playoffs.
Yeah, damn near. Yeah.
So, I mean, just like Chase, right? Like we were talking about, Chase has the ability to carry your team. Josh Allen does it too. So, that's all I'm really going to say about it. It's not like a landslide. I'll just be real. I don't like the trade. So, I'm going to move on to the next one. 12-team, 1 quarterback, full PPR, half-point tight end premium, and start 10. Now, the big context here is, yes, it's 1 QB, but they're transitioning this league to Superflex in 2026. So everybody's kind of operating in this in-between of we're used to 1 quarterback value, but the league's going Superflex. So that's why you see that picture, of Drew Allar there, because they are going Superflex. He gives up the 111 in 2025, a 26 first-round pick, which will be the first year they're Superflex, and then Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen Warren. What he got was Achane, Jacoby Myers, and the 308. And his question was, did I overpay for Achane?
Let me tell you something. No.
No.
As I'm going to tell you right now, Achane is about to set the fucking world on fire. He's about to do it. He's going to be a league winner this season. And I'm not even shy about saying that the Dolphins are going to be so putrid on defense. Putrid. Because you know what coaches are doing now, right, Andrew? A lot of these coaches, if they're treating the joint practices like the actual, like, full preseason games, and they're sitting guys out of, like, the preseason game itself.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And when I say that the Dolphins were getting cooked in every way possible, they were getting cooked on offense and defense, I'm telling you now, they're going to have to lean heavy on Achane. Like, I'm looking at this other side, like, to be honest, man, it's sad, but I don't even have an opinion of Michael Pittman anymore. Like, I hate to say that.
I was gonna bring up the point, like, who would you rather have, Jacoby Myers or Michael Pittman?
I trust Jacoby Myers more.
I think a lot of people do.
Like, Pittman, he's always injured. He doesn't bring a specific trait to the table where it's just like, yeah, he can do that. He has young guys chomping at his heels to take his number 1 spot. And I just feel horrid. And I feel like I haven't even heard like one whisper about Pittman this offseason. I've heard about a couple of other guys, but
he's dealt with injury this offseason already, multiple times.
Yeah. Like, imagine having Pittman and Chris Olave on your team. Like, it's just bad. Jalen
you would have
Warren
felt really good 2 years ago if you had Pittman and Olave.
Yeah, hell yeah. Then Jalen Warren, he's just a bottom barrel running back. Like, he's
he's a flex play at best.
Yeah, it's like a generic running back. And then 111, I don't know who the hell is at 111.
I mean, if they're going super flex in 2026, that 111 should be like Jackson Dart. It should be like a Matthew Golden. It should be like a, I don't know, RJ Harvey maybe, Caleb Johnson. Like, that's kind of what you're looking at there.
Yeah, and the 26 first, probably going to be a weak quarterback class. And I don't know
26. I'm going to stop you there. The quarterback might be the saving grace of the class, if anything. It does feel like for Superflex, there's decent value in this class. A lot of guys that I think could end up becoming first-round guys. Probably 4 different quarterbacks I think have first-round potential. Cade Klubnik from Clemson could be one of the guys. Drew Allar, like you see there. Penn State could be one of the guys. I think Garrett Nussmeier, Arch Manning, even if you take him out of it, there's still, a couple other guys, Lenore Sellers, that could end up being a first-round guy. So for Superflex, 2026 seems all right. It's definitely better than what we got in 2025 with Cam Ward and Dart and those guys. So I think we could get like 4-ish first-round quarterbacks, even if Arch Manning doesn't, declare, which I don't expect he's going to declare. I think think he's 27. But the wide receiver is top heavy. The running back is pretty shallow after like the first one or two guys. It's just the whole class is top heavy.
See, that's why you're the college expert.
I also, in
Because of
all
this
fairness, I literally yesterday recorded a video for the Dynasty Nerds channel of like 26 prospects to watch right now.
Yeah. I seen Arch Manning wasn't coming out in 26, and I was just like, yeah, that takes the guts out of this quarterback class.
Yeah, we need like a couple college breakouts. We need some breakout years from the wide receiver position, and then the tight end position right now. There's like, it's not even a clear number one. I don't know who, there's really nobody who's a clear cut number one. So we need some breakouts at those positions.
I just compared 26 to 27, and you know how I feel about 27.
Well, it's not even close, by the way.
I say all that to say Achane should be treated like a player that you would trade all these things for. And two of those, you know what? Two of those things aren't even that good. Pittman and Warren aren't even that good. I mean, the most valuable things are the first round picks. And
the reality is, dude, let's make it short and sweet. You could take Myers in the third and Warren and Pittman out and just look at this as Achane and potentially too late first. That's really what you're looking at, right?
Yeah, it's not enough for Achane.
I'll take Achane over the too late first. Did you overpay? No. Did you pay market value? Probably. I mean, this is about market value for him, and it feels a little bit hefty because Devon Achane should be a hefty price because he's one of the top picks in single season format. I mean, this is a player that we're talking about as a late first round pick, early second round pick in redraft leagues this year. You're in a full PPR. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. My only suggestion as somebody who is watching this show, the guy who submitted this, you're going to Superflex in 2026. This is probably the last year that you are going to be able to stock up on quarterbacks for a affordable price, because when you go to Superflex, it's going to be a much more expensive for those QBs. So when you can sneak some quarterbacks into some deals, do it, because those guys, if you hold them for 12 months, their value is going to double just basically going from one QB to Superflex. So try and sneak as many of these QBs onto your roster as you can. Go for like, some cheaper guys that you think could break out. Dart's a great one. If people fade Dart in your rookie draft because they still have one QB brain, grab Dart because he could become the starter next year and double his price tag from where he's at right now. I would also be looking at guys like in your rookie draft at that 308. If people fade Shador Sanders or something like that, do it, because people are going to get hyped up on him. And like things, just go tack on as many of these young upside quarterbacks as you can that can increase in value.
Yeah, 100%. Just buy the current asset for future value.
100%. Because if you're even paying even if guys are like, yeah, Superflex is a little bit more expensive, so I'm going to charge him a little bit more. I don't even know if, guys transitioning understand the value of the QB yet. So it may feel a little bit more expensive than you're used to, but you're probably still going to be able to get one over on a couple of these guys. And then a year from now, they're going to look at you and say, hey, I need some quarterbacks because we're in Superflex. Who has all the QBs? Ah, shit. This guy has all the quarterbacks. I have to go buy them from him now. And you're going to win a lot of trades that way. So that's what I'd be doing, but I'm taking the Achane side here. I don't think he overpaid at all. 12 team, Superflex, full PPR, tight end premium, and start 10. He says the firsts are both mid to late. So he gives up 2 mid to late 2026 first round picks, Devonta Smith and Quinshon Judkins. He gets Puka Nacua, Chris Olave, and a 27 second. Is this a little bit expensive for Nacua, or how do you feel about this?
It is expensive for Nacua, and my days of doubting Nacua are long behind me, but this does feel like a lot. When I think about the idea of Devonta Smith and 2 firsts for Nacua, and I guess...
Is that really how you're looking at it?
Yeah. That's like, because I'm looking at Judkins for Olave in the second, even though it was annoying not to... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that's a little hefty of where Judkins' price is right now. I think where I would be looking at it is maybe Smith a first and Judkins maybe for Nacua, but that feels a little bit light still. And then it would be Olave and a second for a first. The more that I talk about it, I think I'm going with the Nacua and the Olave side. And people are going to say that we're devaluing the first round picks again. It is what it is. People, like we said last episode, I kind of went on a rant about the picks. Devonta and the mid to late first round picks in 2026, I've already told you on this episode how top heavy I feel like that class is right now. Those mid to lates are going to feel really, if we don't get the breakouts that we want out of the wide receiver position, and there's going to be, 1 or 2 guys that maybe break out. If we don't get them, those 2026 late first round picks in a 12 team league are going to get gross quickly. It's going to be bad. Yeah. So just give me Nacua and Olave in the first, because I think the way that I would look at it, I'd still pay a late first in 26 for Olave. I'd still shoot that upside, I guess. Judkins, is he a 27 second or he's a little bit more than that probably, but it's not great for Judkins still. He hasn't signed his contract. I'm still taking Judkins over the 27 second. But yeah, I mean, just give me
I
the
don't
Nacua side,
know.
man.
I don't know if I'm taking him for that 27 second in a 12 team league, with especially if the 27 second is close to a early third. That would feel
Yeah,
real
that feel
gross.
gross. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You want Judkins over that, but maybe
I
Judkins is
was
worth
gonna take.
Olave.
I was gonna take the Judkins side with Smith, but just like you, the more we talked about it, like once I really grasped that those first are late, yeah, I got to take the Nacua side. Even though like next to Olave, just looking at Olave just makes me devalue trades.
It's tough because he's not that desirable, but like he's still got to be worth that late first. I know people aren't going to say I would never trade a first for Olave in my league, and you could never get a first for Olave if I had him. Blah blah. Blah. Your league isn't the end all be all. I'm sorry. Like it may not happen in your league. It may not happen in my fucking league, but I'm telling you where the market should be on him for this type of format. A late first for Olave is fine.
Somebody got
So
a
if you
late
just
first for Olave in my league recently.
That's what I'm saying. Like every league market is different. So yes, you might be right in the aspect of I would never be able to get that in my league. That's fine. Your league might value picks much higher than they actually should be valued. That's fine. Your league might just love draft picks. That's okay. You just have to adapt to your league market. But it feels like you're just losing. I mean, let me ask the question here, because this is probably why this deal happened. How worried are you about Matthew Stafford? Because that's probably part of the devaluation of Puka here.
That did cross my mind while we were discussing this trade. I just have to choose to believe that the Rams have a plan in place if something were to go wrong with Stafford.
Well, from what I heard, and take it with a grain of salt at this point in time, but Sean McVay said that if this preseason game or this joint practice that they just had this week was a real game, a regular season game, Stafford would have suited up and played. So it sounds more like they're just managing than they are he can't go out. So it sounds like it's more of like we're trying to manage some back pain rather than we're trying to, or he cannot go out physically. So I don't know. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. There's always a chance that he goes out there week 1 regular season because he can go out there and then he re-aggravates some shit, takes a shot to the back or whatever, lands on his back weird, and it's like, now he's out of the game. Like, that's always a thing that could happen, but I agree with you. I feel like Sean McVay and Les Snead and the Rams are smart enough. We've seen them, do this well enough for enough years now. If shit hits the fan, they're going to be able to kind of come up with a plan to get things back on track. So I think Nacua is the reason why this whole offense even starts humming in the first place. He's definitely the reason why they're passing game work. So it's hard for me to imagine a scenario where even if Stafford isn't on the football field, McVay's not running this through Puka.
Yeah, absolutely. Puka's going to get his regardless.
It just may be a little bit annoying, PPR scamish, where he's running these short routes and getting it out easy, but points are points for fantasy football.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, not a bad trade at all value-wise, and I could understand why somebody would want the other side, but I'll just take the best player in the deal, and that's Nacua for me. I think I'm probably a little bit higher than most people are on than Olave. People have faded Olave to oblivion. 12 team, 1 quarterback, half PPR, no tight end premium, super flex. Or this is also another team that is transitioning to super flex in 2026. And he said he sold Patrick Mahomes because he already has Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, and Bo Nick on the roster. So going into super flex already basically has QB1, QB2, QB3, and now he has Brock Purdy as well. But he traded Mahomes, Christian Kirk, Ricky Pearsall, and a 4th round pick in 2027 for Purdy and JSN. Is Purdy and JSN enough to down tier from Mahomes?
Yep.
How do you feel about Pearsall being in there? He's kind of an upside guy. You don't care.
Yeah, like honestly, right now, Pearsall hasn't risen to the level where my brain basically took Kirk Pearsall in the 4th out of the trade and just focused on Mahomes for Purdy and JSN. And I like the idea of Mahomes for Purdy and JSN when I have Burrow, freaking Bo Nix, and who's the other one?
Kyler.
And Kyler Murray. I like that. He's already ahead of the strategy that you just said in the other video. He'll be able to, once it transitions, he'll be able to flip Kyler or Purdy and get more value out of that. So
yeah,
that's
100%.
how you do it.
I agree. I mean, the context is king here for me, because if it was if we didn't have the context and it was just one quarterback and he said I switched, I mean, one quarterback, if he went from Mahomes to JSN and Purdy, that's pretty significant. But the context is king here. I love knowing that your quarterback room is already taken care of. because this is a smash win for me on the JSN and the Purdy side.
Yeah, which sounds weird because you're trading away Mahomes, but I feel like that's how you have to view it.
Yeah, but like you said, when you have Joe Burrow, Kyler, and Bo Nix, fuck it, I'll just take JSN and put him in the lineup. That is it. That's actually the last one. The last one was actually very easy. So there we go. 10 trades that were submitted in our Discord. Our Discord is free to join. Like I said at the top of the show, if you guys want your trade submitted on the next episode, make sure to go join that. Also, if you like these shows, you want to support the show, hit the like button. It is the best free way to show this channel some support. It does help us grow, does help us in the algorithm. So please do that if you did enjoy what you saw today. Hit the subscribe button as well. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers now. I think maybe that's what we're at, or did we just pass 6K? I can't remember. Either way, we're trying to grow, so just help us grow by hitting that subscribe button if you're new here. And I am going to shout out one more thing. I did mention you can go to the Discord, join the free Discord to get your trades reviewed, but also in the Discord, I'm hosting this year a Pick'em pool with our subscribers. So if you've made it to this point in the video and you want to compete against both me and War in a Pick'em pool where every week you just have to pick the winners of the NFL games, it's $10 to join, but that link is in our description. We're signing up with or that link is in our Discord. Sorry, we're signing up the people that are in the Discord. So if you want to play against us, come join the Discord. Like I said, free to join and play against us in that Pick'em pool. But War, where can they find some of your stuff at if they want some additional content from you?
If they want some additional content, pro wrestling content, come find us on the YouTube channel, Crimson Mass Pro Wrestling. There, we just post wrestling highlights in the form of YouTube shorts. You'll get to see some of the significant things that happen on some of these wrestling shows. And if nothing else, subscribe to it to help us reach 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year. The channel where we're going to be making our bread and butter here very soon is the Crimson Mass Show YouTube channel. That is where you'll actually get the content with me actually commentating on the professional wrestling. We're still working out some kinks with that channel, but that channel every weekend, I said that channel, hopefully we get up and running this weekend. And yeah, man, subscribe to both. I will greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I forgot to mention when I plugged the Pick'em pool, if you want to play against us, the top 3 teams are the top 3 players at the end of the season on the leaderboard. Those people will be some of the elite company that wins League FFB merch. You will get League FFB merch and cash prizes. So you're not just playing for fun. You're playing for some money and some merch as well. So go join, play against us. And nothing else for you guys today. So we'll see you later this week with some of the divisional breakdowns. As always, more trade shows coming, sleepers, breakouts, values, busts, updated redraft rankings, all that good stuff on the way. So make sure you're subscribed. See you on the next one. Till then, peace out.